Hey guys, this is John with TCG coming back to you today with a video from the vault. Here today for one of our store championship games a couple weeks back with our friend Robbie running Bardocks crew, the new Bardocks crew from the Zenkai series, and our friend Will running the new Piccolo from the Zenkai series. Today on the video I have the man himself, Jim, who's going to be narrating with me. And welcome to the video, Jim.
Hi, I'm just letting you know. I don't play yellow. I don't know either of these decks, so I can't commentate as well as I should.
I don't think any of us know what the hell these decks do. And I do know, especially, we haven't posted for a while. I know I've been extremely busy because I started a new job back in May, so I've been busy since then, and then we just all lost time. I know Ultimate Squad kind of had us like a little, not down, it's just wasn't as fun as a set as we thought. We were still playing, it's just didn't really feel like recording. Now we are in Zenkai series. What were you saying, Jim?
I dislocated my knee.
That too. Jim was incapacitated, so a lot of things happened over the course of summer. But we're approaching fall, and you know what? We said let's turn over a new leaf. Let's start the videos again. On top of that, we're not only going to be having Dragon Ball videos here on the channel, we are going to be having One Piece games as well. Jim is going to be the main person at our store running the One Piece events, whereas of course I still am here running the Dragon Ball events. So today, like I said, we do have this is game one from our store championship. It was Robbie versus Will. I know Robbie takes a very aggressive approach with the Bardocks crew to make it more of a mid-range deck. And Will, I actually haven't played against his Piccolo deck, but from what I saw, he can really make it stall out. What do you think, Jim? I don't know. Have you played against either of them yet?
I played against Will's Piccolo deck with my red Sin deck, and I killed him turn 2.
Oh. Well,
he was not happy.
Well, I wouldn't be. I don't think anyone would be happy if you killed them on turn 2. That's kind of, ugh.
Yeah, having 4 super combos in hand, it's kind of good.
That's true. That's definitely true. Jesus. But looking right now, looks like Robbie's going to the Shugesh, draw a card. The leader itself, I think, is good. Like the fact that you play a Bardock crew, it rewards you for it. You don't have to rely on a leader swing to get a draw. And then on top of that, it's alternate awakening counts your drop area, your play, and your Z energy and your energy. And for people, players who are watching that aren't aware what Z energy is, essentially you have your Z deck, which is 7 cards separate from your main deck, almost like an extra deck if you play Yu-Gi-Oh. You have to meet the Z energy requirement, which is a separate number on the side of a card where a combo cost would be. It is not color specific. You can charge your Z energy once per battle. So every battle, if you say you combo a card, say you attack 3 times, you can charge, if you combo 1 card per each of those 3 battles, you can charge each of those cards. So essentially you have 3 energy, Z energy on that turn. Essentially once you use Z energy, you put it in the drop area and you play the card. So in Robbie's deck, he does have a couple things he can use, especially because he has a Z leader as well. And definitely comboing those cards or even placing the drop helps get to his alternate awakening cost. Right now, it looks like Robbie is starting to push a little fast. If I'm not mistaken, Will looks like he's already down to 6 life. And looks like he's trying to dig for resources. I'm not quite sure how the Piccolo deck works.
I think Will's still at 8 life.
No, I thought he took a life already because Robbie has swung a couple times.
Yeah, looks like he's at 8. I could just be blind, but it definitely looks like he's still at 8.
He may be at 8. I mean, I'm also blind too because the yellow sleeves really do merge really well. And then
Robbie's at 12.
Robbie took a hit. I know Robbie did take a hit. I saw him add a card to his hand, from his life to his hand. And looking right now, just seeing the Frieza army reinforcements and everything in his hand is pretty loaded. I know this format, yellow isn't as strong as most colors. But it still can pose a potential threat. I know in one of the tournaments I did play against Robbie's deck, it can go wide and it can swing out. What I managed to do was we were playing Super Saiyan 4 versus that, and I drew like a terrible hand in my first game against him, and I managed to somehow come back. I got the boss monster, dropped the boss monster, and just kept swinging for essentially the guaranteed triple strike if he couldn't combo out of it, and then clear his entire field as well. That hurt him a lot. Somehow I came back after not drawing it or drawing the fusion materials. But and then like I know game 2 he ended up pushing me in just with everything that he had, and I was even able to drop the boss monster. It didn't help much. But yeah, I think for the deck Will is playing, I think his win con revolves around that Gohan blocker boss monster, correct?
Sure. I'll be honest. I honestly don't know.
If it's not Sin Shenron, I don't know what it does.
Or Broly.
That's true. And that's another thing to get excited for. I know as of the recording, we do have the anniversary sets coming out still in the next month. And all that old support, I'm going to be tossing together my Vegito deck, and I am going to be very excited for that deck.
I have to make like 4 Broly decks.
Is there support for every one of the old Brolys?
I don't think so. I think that red-green one could help out OG Green and I believe both reds.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the black Z leader, I believe.
But then you didn't play the black one as much, did you?
No, because it's bad.
There you go. I know for me it's the Rainbow Vegito. For those who don't know, Vegito not only got a Z Awakened leader, which is amazing, it also got a Z battle card, which is a green 1-drop Vegito. The Vegito allows you to turn 2 Awaken, essentially, and if you don't just want to play one, because later in the game you can use it with your Z Awakened leader to essentially, I think it's you play an 8-drop on top of the 1-drop for, I think, essentially 2 energy. And there's a couple 8-drop options. I know there's the old 8-drops from the expansion packs way back in the day. It's like a triple. It's a dual attacker that becomes a triple striker on its second when it restands. And I believe he has critical. Either that or he's a double striker. But there's a lot of options. People are doing testing. I know at locals, I'm definitely going to be testing it. I don't expect it to be tier 1, but I expect it to be really fun. With the Zenkai meta coming out, what decks would you say you've been noticing more, Jim, at the shop with all the new Zenkai stuff?
I don't want to admit it, and I wish I could forget it, but Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta, is super annoying. I hate it so much. Ban that boss, please.
See, the thing is, that's really funny, is when the set initially came out, that was the consensus of what everyone said. I know Jim, Robbie, and one of our local guys, Charles, we all went to another store, and I played Super Saiyan 4. Essentially, it was the week of when it came out, and the consensus from everyone I played against was, what the hell is this? Is every time I drop the boss monster, they read it, they're like, okay, put it back down. I swing at their card, they're like, okay, I'll negate it. And I'll be like, you can't negate it. And they look at me like, what do you mean? And it just goes through the whole explanation of, oh, it's not affected by non-Gogeta card skills, which includes extra cards. And then it's in a battle the moment it's swinging, so the negate won't go through and you can't activate the negate. It's just a whole shebang of things that, like, oh, I get the board wipe your field for free and send a almost free triple striker at you, because it's either you're going to have to combo out for that either 15-20k, or you're going to have to take 3 hits. And on top of that, restand itself as a blocker. The one downside is you drop it at the next charge phase, but then if you have another one in your hand, because you can really fill your hand with that deck. Now, that was the consensus at the beginning of when the set dropped. Now, after seeing some events and what's been topping, the deck is topping, but it's not impossible to beat, because like Sin Shenron, as much as you want to think, it has a really good matchup against it. Because Sin Shenron can push really hard early game and make you use those resources and whittle down your hand and get rid of your unison. Gogeta can't do that. Sin Shenron has all that draw power just off of, let me take a Dragon Ball, put in my Z energy for free, draw a card. And you awaken on your Z energy. I awaken with a Goku and a Vegeta. And honestly, I don't want to awaken early because awakening early loses my searchability because the swing on the auto is really strong in my opinion. Um, what's up?
Nothing. I just hate that deck a lot, so anything you say about it, be it good or bad, I'm going to ignore it and still hate it.
What? Well, besides that, what about any other decks? Any other decks you're seeing besides Gogeta, or anything that you think are interesting, or you're like, wow, that's surprising?
I still like Red Sin, but out of the 3 Sin decks, it's probably, I don't know, number 2 or number 3 of my favorites.
And your number one?
Out of the 3 Sin, Black Sin. Xeno Sin is my favorite Sin deck.
Fair, fair, fair.
Um, let's see. Sherman Salsa, like, I'm just going by like what I've played against. I played Xavier's Sherman Salsa deck with my Xeno Sin deck, so he basically did my job for me and milled himself. What else have I gone against?
And see, not to interrupt you, but even looking at this game, we've been talking for what, almost like a little over 10 minutes now, and they're still only on turn 3 with how everything's playing out. Like,
Oh, Yellow, it's like I'm gonna stall you. No, I'm gonna stall you.
well,
And
and see, that's the thing. It's not even stalling at this point. It's Robbie with his deck is mid range. He play a very aggressive play style, which can be strong and also reckless at times. In this case, he has his Guinea on the field. It's at 3 markers. He keeps pushing down Will stuff. I think he had a Unison on the field at one point, pushing that down. His entire goal is to just keep putting pressure on Will to force him to lose his resources while also Robbie gets a buff strengthening his field. And going on, Jim, I'm sorry, you were saying Sherman Salsa?
oh no, you're good. Sherman Salsa, just from what I've seen from it, I've only gone against that deck twice. The first time was with Red Sin, and I think it was like the second day I had that deck, and I misplayed horribly. I didn't charge my Z energy when I should have, and I couldn't Z awaken, and the Schumann Salsa player was able to beat me. So I'm like, oh well, man, this deck sucks, and the Schumann Salsa deck. So I'm like, oh, this deck sucks. I hate going against it. I went against Xavier's with Xeno Sin. I'm like, oh, this deck's easy. I love going against it. I have not played Robbie's Yellow Bardock yet. Oh wait, yeah, I went against Will's deck and not impressed.
See, I think the idea is cool. I like the leader. I think can be good. They did already spoil and show at the cons that Yellow will be getting more support. Specifically, this deck is going to get like a Z leader, another boss monster, and stuff like that. So I think this is going to be interesting to see. Because I think the Zenkai series, the extra deck essentially adds a lot more, like, not flexibility but playability around it. I mean, there's not a one single deck that is currently dominating because of the Z deck. I think at most the strongest color from the Z deck right now is probably the blue Vegito that comes with it, where, okay, I always have a 5-drop boss monster with barrier, deflect, triple strike, and blocker, who restands and I think he restands himself and he returns a card from your opponent's field and their hand to the bottom of their deck. Outside of that, there's something like too broken. It adds a lot of utility. I know personally I like the starter Super Saiyan 4 Goku. If I'm trying to put pressure on my opponent, like for example in one of the games against Robbie, that Goku gave me three life off him, and he put himself down to 4 life. And then I played the next turn I played the boss monster, the Gogeta boss monster. Or it may have been the same turn, because I think that was the game where I was dragging on a lot, and I think it was my turn 5, and I was able to Z-play the Goku, awaken, restand in energy, and then play the boss monster, swing the boss monster, and Robbie was like, oh god. So he had to make the decision to either combo out or take the 3. So he chose to take the 3, leaving himself at 1 life. Now, in my deck, I don't play the Vegeta. I play the Vegito. So once he did that, I just went, okay, play the Vegito. Vegito comes out. I look at his hand. He had no negates, and I nicked his last super combo. And I'm like, okay, swing, put him up to 85k quad strike. And I gave my leader, it's either +5 or +10k buff until the end of my at the beginning of my next turn. Which I'm like, okay. And that's how I beat him that one. So it could be like the Z cards. They're really strong. Are they broken? I don't think they're broken. Some people complain. I know there have been people complain saying, "Oh, the Z deck ruined the game." In my opinion, I don't think it did. I think it opens more pathways for support for older decks without making them broken, or making them too like rugged to where it's like, oh, I gotta draw this card that's made to help it out. Whereas Vegito's like Rainbow Vegito, old deck, cool concept, really slow. The 1-drop Vegito you always have access to, just need to combo 1 card away. Play it, you get to turn 2 Awaken. I think that's great because the Awaken side of Vegito isn't as broken as most people think. The Z Awaken is good, but the Z Awaken you still need to pay, I think, an energy or 2 to get it up. So, what do you,
just to add on to that Z Awaken controversy topic, people said the same thing with Unisons. They said, "Oh, this is going to break the game." They said it with dual colors. "Oh, this is going to break the game." Surge, this is going to break the game, and I just let people have like vent and crap, and then give it 4 months. They'll come out with a new mechanic, and it'll be rinse and repeat.
Well, see, the thing is, I think so. From what I have seen, the last new mechanic was Unisons, right? So like we had like that was the last really like, oh, it's a game changing mechanic. Like we had Empower and stuff like that come out between in that block, but Empower really didn't break the game. It didn't change the game as much. It's a cool like ability, but it didn't change it to the point where it's like, oh my god. Now with the start of each block, it is fair to have like some kind of change. Do I think they need to do it every block? No. Do I think this is an unnecessary change? No. I think it doesn't speed up gameplay too much because if you play other Bandai games, for example, like Digimon card games, like you can play a best of 3 match in 30 minutes. It's a very fast card game. The only thing is there's almost zero interactability. It's OTK versus OTK, or hoping you get stuff off your security checks and your life checks. Little to none. Dragon Ball, you have counters, you have counter play, you have counter attacks, you have blockers, you have autos, you have a lot of stuff, a lot of things that can happen. And that's why, like, for example, you see we've been talking for almost like another 10 minutes and they're still barely on their turn 4s, respectively. They have to think through their plays, they have to think about their attacks, they have to think about what they want to combo. It's all that going into the life count. Now, with the new One Piece card game, I will admit, they did take good aspects of both games and put it together. So One Piece doesn't end as fast as Digimon, but it's not necessarily a whole OTK aspect, which I think is really good for Bandai. Now, with Dragon Ball, you have that community around it. You do have people vocalizing their opinions on what they don't like and what they do like. And I know people who play other card games like to say, oh, Dragon Ball's dying. I've been hearing the phrase Dragon Ball is dying for the last 3 years since COVID started. Dragon Ball survived COVID. It's still going strong. They have events. They have player turnout. Everything. They're still having their national championship this year. Like, boxes are selling. People are buying the new sets, like foiling out their cards. I don't think the game's dying. I think the game is in a great place right now. Zenkai really opened up new play options. I think this anniversary set's going to be nice because for players who are starting to play the game, they have access to really good secret rares, like a hatch reprint that's going to be like below $50. Amazing for blue players because everyone would normally have to spend $200 just to have a generic secret rare. Green players, they can have Super Saiyan 3 Broly, another great secret rare. Red one, But even still, and the best part is, Jim, I don't think you noticed, they still haven't shown the reprint cards in Anniversary because there's a revised pack they normally release. So we
I
don't.
already know what's gonna be in there. It's gonna be Young Invaders with the errata, Dark Broly Leader with the errata, the
No, no,
three
oh
other.
no. You're thinking of the revision pack. I mean like reprints with alternate arts.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
remember the Anniversary box with like Broly Crown, the Goku counterplay, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like that, but we don't know what they're gonna reprint. Because honestly speaking, I don't know what they would reprint because a lot of like the really expensive like staples and cards people need have been reprinted a lot.
They can reprint Crown again.
Well, they already are. Remember in the championship promos?
But they can reprint it again.
They could reprint it again.
New alternate art cracked Dragon Balls.
I mean, are they expensive or no? Well, they don't need to be expensive to reprint them. Honestly, they put in some chaff in there too in the past. Also, do know I don't think they'd I also don't think they'd reprint Crown again because it's already been in one Anniversary box. So that's probably out of the picture. They can reprint Heroic Prospect again.
Yeah, how many times has that card been reprinted?
Oh my god, I know. See, and I understand the reason. I know why it was done. I think they need to stop reprinting Heroic Prospect. Like it was a $40, $60 promo that was needed for blue decks. It was understandable, but I really think they just killed the reprintability on it by reprinting it a million times.
Yep.
Seeing here, let's see, Robbie's in his turn 4 right now, and it looks like he is really starting to push, playing that Bardock. He gets the free, I think that's the 30k Fasha he gets for free as well on the field. He's just getting his Towering Apes to start tossing at will. If I'm not mistaken, does it look like Will's at 3 life?
It looks like he's at 4.
Man, I am really blind. How do you see 4? I see 3. Oh no, he's actually at 1, 2, 3, 4. He's at 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm blind. You have to really look at the screen because his yellow sleeves are so bright and they bounce off the light.
Robbie's at 3.
Robbie's at 3. Robbie goes down really low, which I think is one of the weaknesses behind it because he runs the risk of being just like wiped out. But also, if you look, he's got like a full grip in his hand. So he essentially can just keep comboing and forcing Will to take those lives.
You are not wrong.
No, yeah. So like, and right now I think that's the difficulty Will's having is like, what should he do? What should he drop? How should he play around this? And that's what's going through his head right now. I don't know. It is an interesting matchup. The yellow matchup really does kind of drag out. I still haven't found a yellow deck I enjoy playing. I tried the Piccolo deck. I didn't have fun with it. I've tried a lot of decks. I haven't had fun with them. We'll take some other life right there. I do like the Gohan Unison. When the moment I saw that Unison, I'm like, that's going to be played in yellow decks. It's a Unison that's an easy boss monster just to slap in almost any deck. And it has Empower. So if you have a Unison-based deck, such as like for this deck how it has Pan, and you're like, I don't need the Pan anymore. Empower on top of it, you get the Gohan trigger, you get to spin back 1, ignoring barrier. Like, I think that's really good. And then it becomes a tall triple attacker, and it's a blocker.
So what you're saying is when they remake Yellow Sin to throw that card in there?
I would say you should. Honestly, I think you should. Now, I am not 100% sure. I can't remember if it's a 3 or 4 marker, and I think Shenron Plus is off a 4 marker. Is that correct?
Like to awaken, or
yeah? What does it require to awaken?
I have the card almost in front of me.
Because I know there's an alternate awakening cost for a Unison.
I think it's a 3 marker.
Oh, so it just has to have markers on it, not specified cost?
Specified cost of 4 in play.
Okay, so I don't know if the Gohan does that. I know I had a Gohan. It's right here. I'm like, I have a Gohan too. It's a 3 cost Gohan. So the Gohan wouldn't contribute to. What's up?
Okay, never mind. Mechikabura it is.
Well, see, that's the thing. You can still play like Meki, but if you want like something for extra pressure, that Gohan's a great card.
Maybe.
Yeah, and then like Frieza Mechanical Riposte. That's another card that got and they get reprinted to the ground. But it was nice that stores got those championship kits where they are able to get those cards for people. I will admit the collector's edition versions of that Frieza look sick. They do look absolutely cool.
Yeah, but the big difference with the Frieza reprints is they're all still kind of pricey.
Oh, I think the event pack one is only like $10.
Never mind, I take back what I said.
Let me see. I have my trusty computer right here. We'll see right now.
I'm gonna say they're $15.
They might be $15. Here we go. Event pack alternate foil. That would be the cheapest one. They are $16. I was wrong. Well, actually, they're 17s. So they're considerable. They're a decent price. And looking right now, it does look like Robbie went ahead and counterplayed the Frieza Riposte, and it looks like that may actually give him the win, I want to say.
And it looks like I bumped into the camera.
I know. I wonder who kept doing that during all the recordings.
I legit just said I bumped into it.
So it looks like Robbie's swinging with his double strike ape, seeing if Will has a negate. He only has 2 life left, and it looks like he's going to give the game to Robbie on this one. Robbie and his monkeys triumphed. I know the funny part on the last note is that that secret rare is actually one that Robbie always sticks with, but he does want to try the new Gohan Piccolo, which I also want to pick up in case I ever do make a yellow deck. But thank you guys for tuning in to this video. I do hope you all enjoyed it. Stay tuned. We are going to start posting more content as time goes by, and we hope to see you guys in the next video.
Look forward to One Piece and maybe Digimon.
All right. See you guys.